Unit 15. Part 1.
Who was your favorite teacher when you were a student?
When I was a freshman in high school, the art teacher was my favorite. He was very young and good-looking, as well as knowledgeable. Although he taught us a lot about the history of art, he rarely gave us quizzes or assignments, so everyone loved his class.
Do you still keep in touch with your favorite teacher?
Unfortunately, I can't because I don't have his contact information. When I was a junior in high school, he moved to another school without telling anyone. Many of my classmates were sad about it, and they still talk about him sometimes when we meet up.
Do you like teaching?
Yes, I enjoy teaching because I like to help people develop their skills. For example, I worked as a private tutor last summer. Even though it was challenging at first, I enjoyed doing it because I could see that my student was making progress.
What did you like about your school when you were young?
My primary school had a big schoolyard, and it was one of the best things about the place. The yard was large enough to fit a soccer field as well as a basketball court. Therefore, my friends and I always ran out to the yard at lunchtime to play ball.
What subject was the most difficult for you?
The most difficult subject for me was chemistry. That is because I had to memorize all the elements' symbols by heart. It was so painfully hard for me. In addition, I had to deal with complex formulas, and they were very confusing to me.
What was your favorite subject?
I liked music above all the others. Even though I wasn't very talented, I enjoyed singing and playing an instrument. Besides, the break from textbooks and note-taking gave me time to rest my brain.
What kind of toys do children play with these days?
I think toy cars are popular with kids these days. I have a nephew who is 4 years old, and he loves toy cars. He has a big collection of them in his room, and he always carries one with him wherever he goes.
What kinds of activities are good for children?
I think it is good for children to go out and play sports. These days, children spend too much time playing games or watching TV. Consequently, they are becoming increasingly overweight. Therefore, doing physical activities such as football or baseball would be good for children's health.
Part 2.
The skill I recently picked up is cycling. I decided to learn it because I was always embarrassed about not knowing how to ride a bike. Also, since all my friends could do it, I felt a bit left out too. When I told them this, they encouraged me to learn. They all said it was great fun and a good source of exercise. I first got on a bike about 5 months ago, and I practiced every weekend for about 2 months. During that time, my friends taught me how to balance myself on the bike, how to steer, and how to avoid accidents. Cycling has affected my life in so many good ways. Most obviously, it saved me time on my commute. I can now get to school in 5 minutes by bike, which is faster than walking for 15 minutes. Furthermore, I can go for rides through the countryside and enjoy the beautiful scenery. But the best part is that I can feel myself becoming more fit and healthier. I'm really glad I applied myself and learned.
Part 3. What skills are good for children to learn?
There are several important skills that young people should learn. For one, young children should be taught foreign languages. This is because languages are easier to pick up at an early age. When younger children are taught foreign languages, they learn them naturally without much effort. In addition, musical skills are also beneficial for young people. Musical skills can increase creative thinking in children and that would be beneficial for them overall.
Should male and female students learn different skills?
In my opinion, we should not teach students based on their gender, but instead, students should be able to learn skills based on their personal interests and future goals. For instance, if a male student wants to become a makeup artist, he should not be forced to study woodworking or agriculture. Conversely, if a female student wants to be a professional boxer, it doesn't make sense to require her to study cooking.
Part 2.
There were many toys that I liked, but the first thing that comes to mind is a small stuffed dog. It had white fur and could move and bark on its own because it ran on batteries. My aunt got it for me as a Christmas gift when I was 6, and I was never without it for the next few years. I treated my little dog like a real pet. I would walk it around the house and take it everywhere I'd go. I showed it off to all my friends. I even had conversations with it. I must have looked pretty strange, but I remember asking if it was hungry or needed to go outside. I think I loved that toy because it was a good substitute for a real dog. As a kid, I always wanted to have a dog, but I couldn't get one due to my dad's allergies. In addition, I probably liked it because I was an only child and often felt lonely. Having the little dog gave me someone to play with and talk to, and I thought of it as my best friend.
Part 3.
How are toys today different from toys in the past?
There are many differences between today's toys and those of the past. First of all, many toys now feature advanced technologies. These days, a lot of toys can be controlled with a smartphone. Children take to these naturally and have no problems with them since they have lived with technology like this for their entire lives. Also, there has been an increase in educational toys. Toys are not just for having fun anymore. Some toys are designed to help children learn skills like foreign languages while having fun at the same time.
Are there any differences between the toys boys play with and the toys girls play with?
I do think that male and female children play with different toys. The key differences are based on how boys and girls are typically thought to behave. For instance, a lot of people assume that boys are more active than girls and more interested in knowing how things work. That's why boys are often given toy guns, cars, and robots to play with. Meanwhile, there is a stereotype that girls like pretty things. Therefore, it is not surprising that many girls play with princess dolls